Today, I'll teach you a bunch of really cool Lydian guitar licks. So if you like the amazing, floating, dreaming sound of the Lydian scale, you'll love this video lesson. We'll start off with some easier Lydian licks, and then we'll progress to more advanced ones. We'll also get into some polyrhythm, some two-string sweeping arpeggios, and a killer backslide chain, and some other cool techniques too. So real quick, I want to take 10 seconds and make sure you know what the Lydian mode or the Lydian scale is. The short definition is this: the Lydian scale contains all the same notes as the major scale, with one exception. The fourth note is now going to be 1 fret higher in a Lydian scale compared to a major scale. So all the rest of the notes are the same, but it's 1, 2, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, and 7. In other words, if we were in the key of C Lydian, or the mode of C Lydian, the notes would be C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C. So grab your guitar and let's get started. All right, so this example is going to be a polyrhythm. We're actually implying a polymeter here. We're playing groups of 3 notes, a 3-note pattern, where there would normally be groups of 4. So check this out. All right, so there you hear it's just a 3-note pattern. That's it. It's pretty easy. It will be, I think, easier if you follow the suggested picking pattern of downstroke, then downstroke again. So it's like a little sweep pick, then upstroke, and then that pattern starts over. So down, down, up, down, down, up. In order to get this to sound pretty good, you want to make sure that you're picking up your fingers after you play each note. So we want to avoid, you probably want to avoid this sound. And then this sound. If it creeps in there a little bit, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but try to keep it separate. So after you play the first note, when you get here, make sure that this finger that was playing this note is released. You're not holding that fret down. So you have separation. And that's how you do that. It's pretty easy, actually. It sounds really cool. And you hear the groups of 3 against what would normally be 4, because we're not playing triplets here. We're playing straight 16th notes, but it's groups of 3 instead of groups of 2 or 4 or some other even number. If you like the polyrhythm sound, you might really enjoy checking out a video I've got here on YouTube called How to Play 3 against 4, 5 against 4, 6 against 4, and 10 against 4 polyrhythms. Check that out. All right, in this next example, we're basically going to play another polyrhythm here. We're establishing groups of 3 against 4. So check this out. It's a really cool, nice octave pattern here. All right, so there, as I said earlier, we've got groups of 3. So we're playing 3 notes here. We're playing C, then the octave C, then we're coming back down to where we started. So that's our 3 notes, 1, 2, 3. Again, we're not playing triplets here. This is not 1 triplet, 2 triplets, nothing like that. It's just straight 16th notes, 1E and a 2E and etc. Except that now we are just doing groups of 3. And we slide up. Do the same thing on the D note, the slide up for E, then F sharp, there's our raised 4th for Lydian, then G, etc. All the way up the scale until you get to E. That's the 24th fret there on top. If you don't have 24 frets, just play the 22nd fret and bend it up to 24. If you don't have 22 frets even, play, first of all, why? Second, just joking, take the 21st fret and bend it all the way up there. You can do it. All right, so as you see, it's a really cool sound. Nice vibrato on the top makes it sound really cool. If you're looking for Lydian guitar licks that are a little bit easier but still really cool, I've got another video here on YouTube called 5 Awesome Lydian Guitar Licks You Should Know. You might want to check that out if you're looking for some that are a little easier to play but still have that really cool Lydian sound. In this next example, we will be playing 2-string sweeping arpeggios. We'll be playing 32nd notes over the C Lydian track, but at this tempo, 32nd notes is really not that crazy fast or anything. All right, so there you have it. It's just the 2-string sweeps here. What's the most important part about this technically is that you get the timing right between the picking hand, the sweeping, and the fretting hand. So it's important that we don't hear this. We don't want to hear it. We want to avoid the bleeding of the 2 notes together, the 2 strings together. We want them to be separated. And that's what we're going for. You just work on it a little bit and speed it up. Now, if you want a more comprehensive guitar video lesson specifically on fast 2-string arpeggios like the one I just showed you, you can check out another video I've created here on YouTube for you. It's called Sweep Picking Tutorial, Fast 2-String Arpeggios. In this next example, we're going to be playing some Lydian backslide chains. So what this is simply a backslide technique, daisy chain together through the Lydian scale. Check this out. All right, so this example is pretty challenging. This is the hardest one of all of the, at least for me, it's the hardest one to play of all the examples here in this video. It's hardest because the backslides themselves are not that hard. So the first note is not really that hard to do. You just play the 4th fret. You slide up to anywhere. The notation says to slide up to the 7th fret. Forget the 7th fret. You can slide up to 6 or 8 or 12. It makes no difference. What's important is that you're here, and you slide up anywhere, and you come right back down quickly. And do the same thing on the 5th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, etc., all the way up to the scale. So if you have dots on your fingerboard, which you probably do, it'll be a little easier. But really, it's not about dots or no dots. It's simply about the accuracy of landing on the note you want to land on. And the key there to getting this right really has very little to do with your hands and has everything to do with your eyeballs. So you need to be staring at the fret that you're going to be sliding away from and coming back to. That's the most important thing. If you stare at that fret, the chance of you accurately hitting that note when you're doing the crazy slides goes way up. If you look anywhere else or take your eye off the ball, as they say in baseball, you're very likely going to miss the note and play something else, and that would be very bad. All right, so that's a pretty cool lick there, cool Lydian backslide daisy chain, and you can use the techniques anywhere. It doesn't have to be Lydian, it could be anything, but it sounds really great over Lydian. One more word here about the backslides. If you like that sound, if you like the technique, I've got another video here on YouTube called Improve Your Guitar Solos Immediately, Backslides. And it will show you how to use backslides, not just in a chain like I just showed you, but in other tasteful ways and other musical contexts. You might want to check out that video. Here's the next example. All right, so what we have here is a fast 5-string arpeggio. This is just C major, the triad. And then with the 3rd finger, we're going to end on the B note. And then we're going to start off the same way. But now we're going to introduce this D note, fret 15 on string 2. Then play the G here on the 20th fret. Then we have the F sharp note. That is the raised fourth of the sharp 11 of the scale. Now, even though the first arpeggio is faster because it contains, a little bit more notes, it's actually much easier. The second one, at least for me, is harder, even though it's a little slower because we're not playing quite as many notes. Maybe it's just years of getting used to stopping on the first string. And now we're stopping here, and then and there you have it. So it's pretty cool to play those two arpeggios in combination with each other. The notes that we're stopping on, the high B, this would be the 7th note of the Lydian scale. And then the last note that we play is, again, the sharp 11, and that has the characteristic Lydian mode sound, and it just sounds really cool. All right, now let's talk about how do you practice these Lydian guitar licks. Well, first of all, the Lydian mode and the Lydian scale is not that different than any of the other scales, major or minor or whatever, in terms of the technical things that you do. What's really important when creating or improvising over the Lydian mode or a Lydian chord progression is that you find opportunities to bring out the raised fourth or the sharp 11 note that makes the Lydian mode so special and characteristic, and it gives it that floating kind of sound to it. So whether you're playing something fast or slow, whenever you add that raised fourth note, it's going to have that awesome Lydian sound that you can really only get in that type of scale. So today we've been talking a lot about the Lydian mode and I showed you a bunch of cool Lydian guitar licks. But if you want to learn more about building your guitar speed with your fretting hand, you'll love my new free e-guide called Mastering Fretting Hand Finger Independence for Guitar Players. It's totally free. There's no strings attached, okay? And I think you're really going to love this. So click on the link below. Get your free copy right now.